Uh, all good. Go ahead.
What's up, y'all?
How are you guys doing?
Hey.
I think we all got a little bashful all of a sudden. Just like,
Just all of a
I
sudden.
know, right? Like, what do we do?
Well, shit, I looked all you guys up before this and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
oh no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's gonna
wait,
be
'cause
great.
we were looking you up because the questions are all about you guys.
Right.
Exactly.
But
Yes,
I appreciate the
yeah.
I appreciate the homework. I'm like, I've never had
Anyone look us up and do all the things before? Yeah.
not me, no.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Absolutely appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing your performance and kind of what you give and provide to Dear Evan Hansen. So I guess my first question is, what are you most excited about?
about life, about about my day-to-day.
All of that, if you'd like to share, but most importantly, Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Loving your background, by the way.
Thank you. Mickey, you want to go first?
Yeah, I honestly, I get so excited when people have never seen it before or even looked it up, and I can't wait for them to like listen to the music because it's just amazing. I remember the first time I listened to it, I was so blown away. It was kind of one of my first like musical theater obsessions when I was like 18, 17. I get mostly excited about that and about our band because they're amazing. It's just a really nice theatrical musical experience when you see it for the first time.
Hell yeah. To kind of go off of that, it's like as soon as I joined the company, the thing that I'm usually most excited about is literally the beginning of the show, where we have our interracial family that literally goes out on this disc. And I get excited every single time because I'm like, come on, there are people out there in the audience that are going to see us and be like, oh,
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's like, for me, that is, that's enough, that's enough for me to go out, prepare, do my show and give it, because and kind of go off Mickey too, is that like, it is someone's first time seeing the show. It is someone's first time seeing Dear Evan Hansen. It is someone's first time seeing that family like that. It is his first time seeing Micaela on stage. It is the first, and represented in that way. So it's like, I think that's the best part every single time. Yeah. There are other cool things about the show too, but we'll start there.
That's a great start.
I was just going to say,
Definitely.
just to lead it from that, like, so there's a lot of reoccurring things that we are going to see. So what is the one theme that sticks out to you the most?
Ooh. I think I think you see the opposite, but then you leave with maybe the other side of it. Is the opposite is like, what happens when you miscommunicate? Just about communication. It's about whether it's through the ether, through the social media, through person to person, whatever. It's like these things where we intersect and we communicate with each other, and how important that is to communicate with each other. I mean, I know that's probably like off the beaten path type of theme, but that's something that's really important to me about the show. And I think that you see so many people with good intentions or whatever intentions, and how communication is so key for the story to push along, but also for them to be present, for them to be living there, in that moment. And I think that after the fact, it then, even if they messed up with communication, it then reminds me so much of this theme of the importance of communication, the importance of literally saying words to somebody else and knowing what your intention is behind it and knowing the impact that it'll have. So yeah, that's one.
I think one of my favorite things in the show is just the state of being vulnerable, because I don't think you see that a lot on stage, and this show is so that.
That's
so
right.
when you see, it's just one of those magical experiences where you're like, I cannot believe I'm feeling this from a staged, musical production. Like, it just, the script, everything, the songs, the way the orchestrations are written, it has everything to do with the arcs of these characters and their emotions. So many like hidden gems in the orchestrations by Alex Lacamoire, like that feed the way Evan reacts to things or the way all of us communicate with each other. That's just, it's the best to see that. And I think there's so many shared experiences between audiences in this story, and that's why people love it so much and still love it after so many years, because it's just the like human emotions and the way we're seeing them portrayed on stage, we can connect to that, and it's, I think that's really special, and I think that's why I fell in love with this musical like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Beautifully put, beautifully put. And to follow up on that, I promise you we didn't all get together to compare questions. I promise you we didn't. This has happened before with us. But to follow up on that, amazing. I can't get over it. So there's a lot of heavy themes. There's a lot of heavier themes about mental illness, mental health, being aware of each other. You just talked about communication, community, identity. All of that resonates throughout the show, and reverberates through each of the characters. Given that this show is so timely, you know, 2016, like that for me, it was like around the corner. And so how timely the show is, the impact of social media, that we're now kind of really grappling with mental illness and mental health and things like that. How do you think that all of those themes, why do you think all those things are really important for this time, for this show?
I think like Nikhil said, it just really, this show kind of showcases how those things can affect decisions and communication throughout life. And it's I don't know how to put it. I think it's not that it's like it is important. It's important to see these things portrayed on stage because mistakes like this happen in real life a lot. And I feel like the way mental health is portrayed, I've said this before, it's portrayed so differently in each character, even though they might have so many things in common when it comes to what they're struggling with in life. And to see them navigate that throughout the story is really interesting, because you see two classmates trying to communicate with each other on the first day, and it's so like, how do I put it? It's so relatable because you feel for these people no matter their mistakes throughout the story. And I feel like that kind of teaches a lesson to the audience about forgiveness and about just giving people the space to be human rather than always putting people down for any mistake that they make in life. That's sort of like a gist of how I want to explain that, but yeah, I think that's why it's so important to see these things portrayed on stage, because it's normally not, and it's normally not as realistic as it's shown in this musical, which I think is really special about this one.
Yeah, I and to go off of that, I think that it's I mean, Evan is our main character that we follow, but I think it's also on the work and pat everyone on the back as actors to really flesh out these characters, and also through our direction through Michael Greif and the words of Stephen Levinson. It's like you are seeing real people making real mistakes on stage, and I think that and it is so porous and easily to just go inside to see yourself in these other characters. I also think that like I think that's also part of theater why I think the beauty of theater is that it gives us an angle as like a reflection constantly, because we're watching in such an intimate space, but in a weird way we're taking in, but also seeing ourselves at the same time. And now let it be a part about mental health and mental illness and things that are going like, ooh, there's a lot of it that mirrors, no matter where we've kind of come from, and no matter who we are, as in, from a kid to you're a mother or a father or anything like that. I also just wrote something down, why I don't know. And this is a question I think that I always grapple with, is that like, even with our collective experience, even with everything that we've gone through, it's weird. It's like, why do we still need reminders of all of this, you know? And it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why that's something I'm trying to grapple with these days of like, why is it that I still need the reminder of the impact of mental health, or the impact of or the power, or how important all of this is? Why isn't this something that's kind of just known? And I think that's something that's hard to grapple, and I may never grapple with it, but I'm glad that this show brings all of those questions to the surface. And yeah, I guess that's, yeah, I'm glad it does that. And so, especially with all the things that you listed, you know, Whitney, it's yeah, I'm glad it brings all to the surface. I'm glad it brings all the conversation that needs to have. I love these things called post-show car conversations, where I wish I could be like hearing everyone's car conversations back home. That 15 minutes, I think, is sometimes the most like wonderful parts, where you're talking to your friend about the show, or maybe you open up to them about this because that sparked this and this impacted this, you know? So yeah, fragmented, but that's how I think about it. It is really important. It is really important.
I also think that those things that we're going through in the story, each of us as characters, and that's why these themes never get old, or they never get really solved when we're doing the show, no matter how many times we do it, because we work through our own characters' challenges every night differently, because this show has a way of feeling like we're sort of coexisting with our audience rather than putting on a show for them. And I think Elena, our Zoe, she said this last night, because we're in a new theater this week. We were just in LA for 5 weeks, now we're in Canada, and it's a much bigger theater. And she was like, the scene that I had with the Murphys, with our family, almost felt like it was just in a different space, and the audience was watching us rather than, what did she say? It was just like a different energy that the audience was bringing, because it was bigger and they were further away from us. But it always feels like we're never really putting on a musical. It just feels like we're going through this experience with just a bunch of people in front of us. And I think that's so cool, because every day it helps us, you know, gather new things, gather new thoughts, a way to challenge ourselves with our roles, a way to go through it differently, to think about it differently, because we're feeling that audience energy and the way that they're empathizing with us. It's almost like you can feel their empathy every night. And that is why it like fuels us to do it every day.
Well, yeah. I'm putting on a show when I'm doing Sincerely Me, so I don't know.
Like, well, I'm Tam.
So I agree wholeheartedly with what you guys have stated, especially the conversation in the car ride. So I actually read the book a while ago, and then my daughter and I actually saw it in New York. So I took her and two of her friends, and they're teenagers. So the conversation was amazing. Like, we went and had dinner afterwards, and we really just unpacked a lot of what we saw. And so when I saw it was coming to Philly, I was so excited. And I've been telling everybody that they absolutely must go and see it, and really be prepared and be open for the conversation. And I think that that is like such a key message. And I told so many people, I said, if you get nothing else, I need you to at least get the importance of an open conversation and just kind of where it can take you. So I am so excited about it. My daughter is mad she's going to miss it, but you know, that's her fault. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
And it's, I mean, not necessarily the conversation needs to happen then right there. Even if it's just the start, even if it's just a little of something, then I think that's enough. That is enough, right? And then maybe that conversation, you can bring it back up and we can talk about it more, you know, so that's wonderful. I'm glad you guys had that experience.
And it's about making also just, I mean, anyone, any age, just feel comfortable about what they're going through, because you see it on stage and you're like, oh, that it's not just an experience that I'm alone with. That's something that other people go through, and then it opens up conversations. And I think that's really important, because then it makes people more vulnerable, more comfortable to talk about, you know, mental health, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge component of
I was
like
going to say,
sharing
Chloe, we have
stories.
time for one more. So this,
Oh, okay.
this
Oh.
is new.
So just quickly, what do you all do? What do you do for your own mental health and your own self-care? Because that's extremely important to bring up while we're bringing up, opening the conversation. What are you doing to take care of your mental health?
I surround myself with amazing people. I try to listen more. I've been trying to listen more rather than talk, if that makes sense. You know, when you're in a conversation and you're just thinking about the next thing you want to say. I've tried to listen to my friends more, spend more time with them, spend more time with my family on the phone, because obviously being on tour, I'm away from them. I also go to the gym every day. That always helps me just clear my head. Yeah, just little like that, and being nice to yourself, like pampering yourself, things like that. Yeah.
I'm right there with you, especially pampering and working out. I'm definitely that way too. And especially on the road when everything feels like a blur. I promise you, it's like I look, if when we're doing 1 weekers, I'll even try and think back 2 weeks ago and what my place looked like. I can't remember, you know? So moving my body really does help. There's another thing that I think that I've done other than seeking help, which I think is imperative, is also just like being willing to ask, being willing to just kind of take a first step towards people who are sometimes even I believe people who are closest to you, just like how Mickey's saying to her friends. But sometimes I think for my mental health, I think that there's a place where I always feel like I need to reach far to like somehow like figure something out. It's like, no, actually like get like close, like it's right here, get close. So when I say ask, I do say friends, but I also ask myself, you know, I ask from within and I say, what the heck is, you know, I let myself have those conversations, because especially on tour, when we're going places, all of your energy feels like it's going out, especially now that you're an actor and all your energy is going out.
So easy to just put things on the back burner and ignore them.
And there's not a lot that's kind of going in. So we all Stacy Mindich, our producer, gave us Headspace on our like subscribe us all to Headspace, so we have that. So honestly, I meditate every single day. I journal. We have a half hour before to get ready for the show, and usually I'll try and come before, or I'll do it during my half hour. But I just set one page, and the book is not that big, and I just free write what I need to do, and it's my place to kind of just like spew love on anything that I need to before the show, because I kind of want to create that barrier, or at least need to give myself that time. So I would definitely say there's a lot of energy that needs to go this way. So yeah.
Well, thank you all for your time today.
Of course.
This will be my first time seeing this show, and I'm playing around with the idea, you know, of seeing I'm a new mom, and so, you know, thinking about things like that and how my whole perspective has just changed. And I know people say that, and people have been saying that forever. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get. No, you don't get it till that frying pan comes crashing over your head. So I appreciate you guys being so candid and like so transparent and so honest about what we're getting ready to go into. I really appreciate that, and I'm so excited for these 15-minute conversations. Like, I hope I hear like even a snippet of it as people are going to the car.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love it. Those are cute.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
please reach out when you do come. We'd love to meet you guys.
Yes.
Don't
absolutely.
Don't do that.
I was getting ready to say that.
We'll show up.
Don't do that.
All three of us will.
And I won't tell.
Yeah.
I won't tell. I promise I won't tell.
Oh my God, it's not that you don't tell. Come on, I want to meet y'all.
No, I'm saying I won't tell if you all meet up. Like, I won't
Good,
do
please.
the whole thing. It's all
Do
good.
it.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's
let's
do
do
that.
that.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Thank you all so
Just let
much.
us know. We'll be there. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good rest of your
Thank
day.
you.
Bye, everyone.